Hey guys, it's Young Wealth. Now, today we are covering XCM with our little update. We do a lot of these videos because this is the coin I want to keep watching because it's so recent from its 10x that it could be volatile. But I want to see how we really, if we create a floor around the 1.6 cents range right now. I know right now in the market there's a lot of retail, like a lot of newbies, because a lot of people are seeing the altcoins bleed and it's their first time really experiencing a dump. It's a lot of new people got into crypto once Bitcoin hit 100k. It's a big psychological number now. As you can see, it's really getting punished right now, but Bitcoin's still holding up pretty strong, only down 1.3% on the past 7 days. But altcoins, they're starting to bleed. Now, why are altcoins bleeding and what's one of the reasons? You have to understand that North Korea hacked Bybit for 1.4 million. So this is the reason why a lot of these coins are bleeding, because they are very news and sentiment sensitive. Okay, if something like that happens, that's a big deal. 1.4 billion for altcoins, that's a lot of liquidity that's stolen. But I want to talk about XCM because a lot of people don't understand that the volume for XCM has increased by 29%. So the volume is now a 16% ratio to the market cap. I don't really usually see this. A 500 million market cap coin with almost $100 million volume in the past 24. So I just got suspicious and I realized this volume increase which we see here is definitely not retail. Now, a dude tweeted, right? He says, if you look at top 30 holders of XCN on Ether scan link below, they are all over 300,000 tokens and all bought on the same day last month when the coin skyrocketed. Now, whoever's investing, these dudes are whales, and you can see this as a good thing or a bad thing. Now, there's 40,000 holders, which is healthy, but I do believe a lot. This must be a team. Like it says, it says it here: Onyx protocol, time lock, burn, staking. So there's a good amount that's staking. There's 69 million worth staking, which is very good. And we have to understand, all it takes is another volume spike for it to do another 10x. But between that time, it could be very ugly. But all this region here in this red box, this is all, in my humble opinion, anything below that red line is demand. It's a demand zone. So we could create support somewhere around at least from minimum of a 0.01. But I think my guesstimation is we will base out and make a floor at 0.016. Now you have to understand, when it comes to XCN, I want to speak about the Capital One, who's an investor on the Onyx blockchain network, which launched Chain Core with funding from the company and others. The platform was later sold to the Lightyear Corp. Now you have to understand that Capital One was one of the early initial investors in 2014. So it's sometimes a lot of these companies predict the future. You have to understand, a lot of the companies are 10, 20 years ahead of the average person. So the fact XCN was making deals like this in 2014, it shows me how far their connections really go. And when we look at Capital One's value, it's 73 billion. We look at Onyxcoin, it's only $500 million. So these dips, I'm not really panicking. I'm taking this risk. You can't get emotionally attached to your bags. That's the problem. A lot of people, they get emotionally attached. When they are down 5%, they are sad. When they are up 5%, they are happy. That's not a healthy way to operate. You should lose the emotional attachment to any investment you have in crypto. Treat it like a risky savings account where you just keep adding onto the assets that you believe can last the next 10, 15 years. Ask yourself that question when you look at your portfolio. Do you think the coin you're in can last the next 10 to 15 years? Does it have the backing behind it? Does it have the partnerships behind it to last the next 10 to 15 years? And we know with Onyx, it definitely has that backing, because it's like it was not only just helped and backed by Capital One, it was also helped by the Nasdaq, which in my humble opinion it's the biggest green sign. It's the biggest sign to buy this token, because those companies don't really plan on taking losses. So when Nasdaq gave XCN 40 million, it didn't plan for XCN not to put that into good use. So I know this buy in the past year, this was definitely insider, but now it has the eyes on it, and more people are gaining attention, and it's garnering more attention than what it did before. So I didn't really know about XCN till now. This launch cannot count as traction, because this was all before. This is all purchases before the launch accumulation. So now we have this pump. It's going to be interesting to see how it holds up, because it was a vicious pump. Do not get it twisted. Like, it was up over 11x. So a pullback like this is healthy, but I don't want to see it break past the 0.01, because that's a big psychological zone. If it breaks past 0.01, which I don't think it will even break past 0.015, so we should be safe in that instance. But when it comes to this coin, I will take that risk long term, because as I said, in cryptocurrency, everything is getting stabbed right now. Everything is actually down right now. We are seeing a lot of falling knives, and it don't look the best, but this is the most oversold you're gonna see the market. When the sentiment reverses, a coin like XCN can do numbers, because it's not even a billion. Do you realize how tiny this is? At least a 10x it could do. So just knowing it could do a 10x, if I'm accumulating over the long term, then my 10x is a lot bigger than what it would be if I just hold it at one purchase and relying on just $100 worth. If I just add $100 worth every month, every week, every other week, then my investment should flourish once the time it is to reverse. So I hope you guys hear where I'm coming from the video. Like, a lot of people, I just started crazy, but a lot of people, they are so newbie. They are not used to constant red days. They think it's the end of crypto every time it gets red, and I see this all the time, especially when bullish sentiment comes back. Then there's a major dip, people get nervous and skeptical. But when it's green, no one's asking questions. When it's red, everyone starts getting nervous. But you didn't think about adding money when it was green. But when now it's red, you're like, oh, I don't want to add because it might go to zero. I told you, be fearful when the others are greedy, and be greedy when the others are fearful. Signing out.